Well, here we are, ready to measure up our ingredients. Now, I'm not advertising for a fresh step. Just so happens we have 3 cats that really enjoy using fresh step kitty litter. Anyways, these buckets will work out fine. If anyone's familiar with when we built the cordwood house, we would mix things by volume. 3 parts of this to 2 parts of that to 1 part of whatever. And that worked just fine for building cordwood walls. But in this particular case, we need to get a little bit more accurate with our measurements. And the best way to do that is by weight. We want to make sure that the current countertop that we're going to pour matches identically to the previous one. And weight is the best way to do that. So I've got my bucket all set up here, and we're going to pour in some aggregate. Now, our recipe calls for 7.2 pounds of blue glass aggregate. This is the post-consumer chips that I was telling you about that are embedded into the concrete. They've been ground a bit so they have no sharp edges, and blue is hard to find. Matter of fact, I'm not sure if they're going to make it anymore, so I wanted to make sure I had enough for this particular job. Our countertop has some blue, green, and brown aggregate, but we need to weigh out 7.2 pounds. Well, it says 7.3. Now it's 7.2. As you can see, it's a great way to measure things out accurately. So I'm going to continue measuring out the ingredients, and then the next step will actually be making the mix. Here we're at the mixing station. You can see here we have an old rusty mortar mixer. This mortar mixer makes mixing mortar and cement effortless. Now, this is an old beat up guy. It's been welded, it's been bondoed, just cleaned out the motor, has some mice living in it, but it was the best 200 bucks I ever spent. You can buy them new, they're probably about $1,800, but for 200 and buying one that at least works was a godsend. And I used it to make the mortar for the house, and we're going to use this same device here to actually make the countertop mix. You can use small aggregate in a mortar mixer like this, but you cannot mix regular cement which contains gravel. It'll jam up the blades and wear them out prematurely. You'd be better off using the old cement mixer for that. But for our needs, this will work just fine. Well, we're all set to get started here. We're going to put in about half of the water content first and mix up the cementitious products. Get that all mixed together into a milkshake type formula, and then we'll start adding some of the sand and gradually build up our mix. This water, by the way, has a plasticizer in it, which helps to decrease the amount of water in the mix, which in turn makes a stronger mix. Kind of get the bugs out. Alright, so I'm going to start the mixer and then we'll add the cement. Now with the use of the plasticizer, we have to be a little bit careful with how much water we add. I really like it soupy, and this will harden up nice and hard, trust me. The plasticizer really makes a difference. It uses less water, yet makes it very fluid. So now we're ready to dump it into the tray. You can kind of see the consistency. We'll clean it out here. That's pretty much it. I'm going to do a quick rinse here. We'll be done with the mortar mixer, and then we'll take our cement inside and we'll do some pouring.